Hi everyone, and welcome to the channel. Zach D Productions here, and I'm here for a list video for you guys. And this video was actually requested by my good friend MJNation. He requested me to do this video about a week or so ago at this point, but he wanted me to go over good songs from bad albums, or at least songs that I like from albums that are bad in my opinion. So thank you for the request, MJNation. Now, this list is in no particular order, and I have about 5 albums here. Now, all these bands that I'm naming here, I actually like quite a bit. Some more than others, of course, but I think all of them are great bands in their own right. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started, and I think we'll start off with the song Wallflower by the band In Flames, which is, of course, from their album Battles, and yeah, Battles is easily one of In Flames' worst albums. Some might even say it's their worst, but yeah, it's definitely in the top 3 or so of their worst albums or whatever. I'm not really sure, but it is one of their worst either way. But yeah, the song Wallflower, I've always really liked ever since I heard the song. For me, it's the highlight on the album. I just think it's musically the most interesting and intriguing song on the album. Instrumental-wise, it's really good. Now, with all that being said, even though I think Wallflower is probably the best song on the album, I still have one problem with it, and that's really the lyrics. The lyrics basically just sound like they were written from the standpoint of an edgy individual or whatever. I don't know. So because of that, I'm not that too crazy about the lyrics, but for what the song is, it's not bad. I still think it's pretty good. Now, is there any other redeeming factors or any other highlights to this album? Yeah, I mean, I think Drained, Like Sand, and the bonus track, Us Against the World, are decent songs. Not songs that I return to very much, but they're decent. But yeah, I really don't return to much from this album, really, if anything. But Wallflower, it's a pretty good song. I mean, it's not one of their best songs or anything, but, you know, for this album standards, it's pretty good compared to everything else. So, Wallflower. Next, we have the song Recuse Myself by Demon Hunter, which is from their album Peace. Now, some of you might be rather surprised that I don't have their album Outlive placed on this list anywhere. But to be honest with you guys, I think Outlive might be a little bit better than Peace. I don't know. It really does depend for me, because I do have my days where I do like Peace more than Outlive. I mean, honestly, this album and Outlive do go back and forth as my least favorite from Demon Hunter. That's right. I think Peace is maybe Demon Hunter's worst album. Really, I think the album has not held up very well at all. The songs are boring, you know, especially with the amount of variation that's on this album. It's not very much. I mean, most of this album is just generic hard rock songs, and I think Demon Hunter has just done better hard rock songs than most of what you get on here. But you know, the song Recuse Myself, I've always really liked. Ever since it came out as a single, I've always liked it. And you know what's funny? When this song came out as a single, this song actually gave me a lot of more high hopes for the Peace album, because I was thinking, oh wow, so this is what we're gonna get with Peace? This is very different, and I'm excited for it. But sadly, there's not much else on this album that's like that song, unfortunately. You know, but I really do like how different it is, you know, how unique the song is and everything, and, you know, the amount of experimentation that went into the song. I really like the melodies and Ryan Clark's vocals. I just think it's a really unique song for the band, and it's definitely different for the band for sure. I've always really liked it. Now, is there any other highlights on this album or whatever? Well, yeah, I think Loneliness is another good song, but if I had to choose the best song on the album, I'd probably go with Recuse Myself. Not to mention, I think this album does have some of their worst choruses and some of their worst breakdowns as well. I mean, it's just terrible. But yeah, I know not everyone will agree with my opinion on this album being bad or whatever, because some people might say it's one of their best. And you know, that's the interesting thing about Demon Hunter fans and just the fan base as a whole, is you do get a lot of different responses, you know, when it comes to someone's top 3 or top 5 favorite albums. I mean, there drastically different from each other in most cases. But yeah, Peace, I think it's one of Demon Hunter's worst, but the song Recuse Myself, I think it's a really great song. So next we have the song Future Real by the band Iron Maiden. Of course, from the Blaze Bayley era. This is their album Virtual 11, which a lot of people say is their worst album, and yeah, I'd probably agree it is their worst album. This is the second and last album with Blaze Bayley with Iron Maiden before Bruce came back with their album Brave New World, which was definitely a solid comeback for the band. But I do have to go with Future Real for the best song on this album. It's just a really great song that's energetic. It's not too long. It's a pretty short track. It's straight to the point, but I love how energetic it is. The guitar work, the drum work, everything is great in the song. I think everything that this song does, it does very well. Now, is there any other good songs on the album or any other redeeming factors to this album? Yes, I think The Klansman is also a really good song. But if you had to make me choose between the two songs, Future Real and The Klansman, I'd probably go with Future Real as the better song because, well, for the most part, I'm not going to be listening to anything from this album, and if I do, I'm going to want something that's, I guess, shorter, I guess, because I'm not going to be spending a lot of time with this album, of course, since this probably is Iron Maiden's weakest. And speaking of, song length, The Angel and the Gambler is probably Iron Maiden's worst song. That song just really does overstay its welcome. It's too long, too repetitive, and they could have easily cut the song shorter, and it probably would have been better, to be honest, but I don't know. But Future Real, I think it's a pretty good song from Iron Maiden. Maybe even one of the best Iron Maiden tracks with Blaze Bayley. So next, we have Frantic by the band Metallica, of course from their infamous album Saint Anger. Now, I know that a lot of people don't like this song. For me, I actually kind of like it. I'm not going to lie. It is kind of a fun song to listen to for me. I don't know. I'm not going to lie. It is kind of a funny song too because, due to James's lyrics and, maybe even some of the instrumentation and the music video itself, I'm not going to lie. I do kind of laugh at as well. And I think it's kind of funny and kind of stupid, to be honest. And I think that's why even when I listen to the song itself, I still laugh a little bit because it just makes me think of the music video. But yeah, Frantic, yeah, it's just a fun song, I think. Now, is there any other good tracks on the album? Yeah, I think The Unnamed Feeling is pretty good as well, but I'd probably go with Frantic from this album because that's probably the song that I return to the most from this album. And yeah, of course, it's Saint Anger. I know that a lot of people say that this is their worst album if you don't include Lulu, of course. I don't know if you want to count Lulu as a main studio album in their discography, but if we're not including that album in the Metallica discography, then yeah, Saint Anger is their worst album. But yeah, of course, they sound like a garage band around this time, and, of course, the sound of the drums everyone complains about. It is definitely their worst album, once again, if you don't include Lulu. But Frantic, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of fun. So lastly, this song is by the band Judas Priest, who are, of course, legends in the heavy metal genre. And that song is Alone from the Judas Priest album Nostradamus. Now, this might come off as a surprise for some people. I don't think many people saw this album coming. And yeah, I mean, the song Alone, I've pretty much always liked ever since I first listened to it. I don't know what it is about this song. Now, the album as a whole, not gonna lie, I think it is one of their worst albums. It's definitely the worst with the Halford being back in the band era of Judas Priest. But yeah, but the song Alone, I think it's pretty good. I really dig the theatrics in the song. Rob Halford sounds pretty good in the song. Not one of his best vocal performances with Judas Priest, but not bad. Definitely not bad. And the song structure itself is pretty good, and, pretty much everything that it has to offer. It's kind of unique. And some people might even say that the album as a whole is unique because, of course, it's a concept album. They're trying something a little bit different around this time. But, yeah, it's not horrible, but for the most part, I'm just not a fan of this album. Sure, you might argue it's a unique concept and everything, but this album for me just really does overstay its welcome. So Nostradamus by Judas Priest, I think it's one of their worst, but the song alone, I think it's pretty good for what it is. So there you have it. That is a list of good songs from bad albums. These are, of course, from bands that I really do like for the most part, so let me know what you guys think. Are there any songs that you like or songs that you think are good that are from pretty weak albums? Feel free to let me know. So what do you think of my choices for this video? So with that being said, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day and take care.